It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth a hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you, and welcome to this semifinal matchup here on Science Bowl. One of these two teams will be taking on Kenmore for this year's county championship. Let's meet today's teams. First, from Hyattsville Middle, would you please say hello to Lara Ba, Brianna Rowley, and Vincent Land. And from Oxon Hill, here they are, Antonio Sosa, Thomas Pantelli, and Matthew Minna. And now here are the categories of questions that we use on the Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
Here on the Science Bowl, we arrange our game board according to the difficulty of the question. Easier questions on the left, worth 5 and 10. Tougher ones, 15, 20, ultimately 25. Toughest of them all. Both teams start out at 50 points. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. End of the 2 rounds, as I said, we will have a competitor for Kenmore in that final game. We started out with 16 middle schools. We're down to our final 3. Yes, indeed. Let's make sure everything works properly. Let's go to the red team. And Brianna, would you try your buzzer? It looks and sounds good. Good luck to you and Vincent and Laura too. Thomas, would you try the green teams? Looking good, sounding good. Good luck to you gentlemen, Thomas, Matthew, and Antonio. Just let me say congratulations. Very few schools make it this far in the competition, and this just tells me what great guys you are and how you studied and prepared for this. So just have a good game. Know that everybody wins at this level. We go alphabetically H before O, so Hyattsville and Brianna, let's play the game.
Dateline Science for 15.
Dateline Science for 15 points. Teams, during the Spanish Inquisition, this Italian scientist was put on trial for advocating Hyattsville.
Galileo?
It's Galileo, yeah. He had the temerity to say that the sun was at the center of the universe and not the earth, and yeah, he was persecuted roundly for that. Go, red.
Let's get physical for 15.
Let's get physical for 15 points. Teams, producing solids from liquids in a chemical reaction has what same name?
Precipitate?
Precipitate, absolutely. It's the same name as the liquid that falls from the sky. You didn't even need that, Thomas. Nice answer. Go green.
Body systems for 20.
Body systems for 20 points. Teams, in a sense, and some doctors have said so, a premature baby is actually one of these F initial developmental stages. Hyattsville?
Fetus.
It's actually a fetus here by accident. It is out there too soon. Well done, go red.
Body systems for 15.
Body systems for 15 points. Teams, ITIS at the end of a word means something is inflamed, like tonsillitis or pancreatitis. But the suffix OMA, like carcinoma, adenoma, means that one of these T initial growths may be occurring. Oxon Hill.
Tumor?
Yeah, a tumor, some kind of growth. Good, go, green.
Let's get physical for 10. Let's get physical for 10.
Let's get physical for 10 points. Teams, your question is as follows. This chemical element, which is very light, it's a metal used in golf clubs, Hyattsville.
Aluminum?
Not aluminum. Good try, Oxon Hill. This lightweight metal that is used in golf clubs and also bicycle frames and tennis rackets has a name that sounds like a famous ocean liner that sank after it hit an iceberg.
Titanium.
Titanium, that's it. Go green.
Zoo parade for 15.
Zoo parade for 15 points. Teams, if you are following a kosher diet, you cannot eat crayfish or lobsters or crabs because they are shellfish. They're not real fish because they don't have what? Hyattsville?
I'm going to pass it to Vincent.
Vince?
Vertebrae.
No, not vertebrae. Oxon Hill, shellfish like lobsters and crayfish and crustaceans are not considered real fish, according to kosher diet, because they are lacking what covering and what means of locomotion that real fish have.
Scales.
Two-part answer.
Scales and fins.
You got it. That's it. Nice comeback. Go green.
Science potpourri for 15.
Potpourri for 15 points. Multiple choice question. Teams, boiling water depends on atmospheric pressure. So if you were boiling water atop Mount Everest, would it boil at 50 degrees Fahrenheit, 158, or 212? Atop Mount Everest, Thomas.
50.
Not 50. Hyattsville. 50, 158, or 212, boiling water atop Mount Everest.
158.
158, absolutely right. Yes, much lower than the normal 212 boiling point. But yes, atmospheric pressure influences boiling point. Go red.
Green things for 15.
Green things for 15 points. Teams, bamboo, which is the favorite food of pandas, is sometimes called an arborescent grass because it resembles a what? Oxon Hill?
A tree?
A tree, absolutely right. A forest arbor was your clue. Good, go.
Dateline science for 10.
Dateline for 10 points. Teams, people in West Africa working with Ebola patients were routinely sprayed with this halogen chemical that we use as a disinfectant. Oxon Hill?
Ammonia?
Not ammonia. What halogen chemical that we use as a disinfectant for disinfecting our swimming pools was sprayed onto these Ebola workers?
Chlorine.
That's it. Good. Nice. Come back. Go red.
Super 8 for 10.
Zoo parade for 10 points. Teams, while a male shark is called a bull, a female shark is still called a female shark instead of one of these. Oxon Hill?
A cow?
Yes, you don't have a cow shark. All right, go green. Thanks, Antonio, for your help.
Green things for 10.
Green things for 10 points. Teams, since a rose bush does not have to be replanted each year but comes back faithfully, Hyattsville?
Perennial?
You got it. It's a perennial plant. Nice teamwork there. Go red.
Body systems for 10.
Body systems for 10 points. Teams, if you are better than other people, scholastically or athletically, you are said to stand 2 body parts higher. It's also, yes, Oxon Hill.
2 heads.
Not 2 heads. Good try. You are said to stand 2 body parts higher than everybody else. It's also the name of a shampoo.
Head and shoulders.
Head and shoulders above everybody else. That's it. Nice help, Vincent. All right, that was a quick round. Good playing. Let's check that score. It is a dead heat. Hyattsville, 130. Oxon Hill, 130. We'll be back with round 2 in just a moment. Don't you go away.
I wanted to start a business that I was passionate about, something I absolutely enjoyed and believed in.
I was doing the corporate grinds, and I kind of wanted to do something a little more green. My name's Steve Allen. I run Rad Cab in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We do pedicabs and mobile outdoor advertising. I love being social, talking to people.
A lot of confusing stuff when you start a business. When I go in and talk to my store mentor, he really helps me sort it all out, and we just get organized. And when I go home, I feel confident about what's going on. It really feels amazing to create jobs here in my city.
It's incredibly awesome. I love to show it off.
If you get a solid foundation for your business laid, everything else falls in place. SCORE has absolutely been the most invaluable resource that I've had from day one.
For free?
I could not imagine doing anything else.
Get your free business mentor at score.org.
Hi, my name's Aaliyah Griffith. Have you ever had trouble with your math homework? Well, I've got just the show for you. Tune in and call into the Count on Us homework hotline. Go one-on-one with math teachers who'll show you how to work out your problem. That's Count on Us, Mondays and Wednesdays from 4 to 6 p.m. Count on Us, only on Telly Award-winning TV 96. And if you have Verizon, that's TV 38.
Welcome back to Science Bowl, semifinal matchup. One of these two schools, we have no idea. They are so evenly matched, going on to play Kenmore for the championship. Champions, what do we give them? We have plaques for the school and individual plaques for all of our players and alternates and everybody who plays, not just the winning team. All of our semifinalists get to take home Audubon field guides in their choice of scientific subject. Birds, mammals, rocks, minerals, night sky, whatever it is that suits their fancy, as a way of rewarding them and thanking them for being on the Science Bowl. Let's get back to it and find out a little bit about these players. If you've not had the pleasure of meeting them earlier, you're in for a treat. Great young people here, all great students, great personalities. Brianna, tell us about Hyattsville. As we said at the top of the show, multiple times you have won the county championship. So do you feel the pressure?
A little bit. I mean, you want to uphold the standard of Hyattsville Middle School and what we've done with Science Bowl, but you just want to have fun at the same time.
Boy, you're so mature in the way you approach this. That's exactly what we want. And you look like you're having a good time. You're smiling all the time, and we like that. What's the best thing about Hyattsville?
The best thing about Hyattsville is the Creative and Performing Arts program. Yeah. It allows our students to express themselves in a way that regular schoolwork cannot provide.
And what do you do artistically over there yourself?
I play the violin.
Yeah, and you've been playing that for 5 years now, haven't you? And you'd like to be a professional musician someday.
Oh, no, I want to become a forensic scientist.
Oh, forensic scientist. But you can play the violin on the side, too.
True.
Yeah, we can all multitask. Tell me who the sponsor of your team is.
Our sponsor is Mr. Howard Knight.
Yes, he is indeed, and he's a great sponsor, and he really does a lot of hard work getting these teams ready here. And who's your principal?
Miss Kimberly Washington.
Wonderful. I know she's out there supporting you. And Brianna, do you have any alternates on your team?
We have Emma Allen and Ransom Melatole.
Wonderful. We'll bring them out in just a few moments along with Mr. Knights. They are an integral part of this team. And we wish you luck in the second half here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Vince, nice to have you with us today. Are you a musician as well?
Yes, I am.
What do you play?
I am a vocalist in the choir, so I sing bass.
Wow. All right. Do you want to give us a little? No, that's all right. What else do you do in your spare time?
I like to read. I like to find new stuff, like current events. Like I'm a big tech person, so I like to see what's coming out in the smartphone market, like Samsung, LG, Apple, stuff like that.
Yeah. And by the time this show airs, all those things will be obsolete. No, I mean, it just seems like once you get something, the new one is coming out here.
Yeah.
And you'd like to work for a tech company someday,
yes.
Yeah? Yeah, they'd be lucky to get you. Laura, too, nice to have you here. And this young lady, she does it all. She's a musician, she's a scholar, she's an athlete. Tell everybody about yourself.
Well, I play the tenor saxophone in the Hyattsville Middle School band, and also after school sometimes I play volleyball, and I like to read.
Yeah, you're a great player. And what do you want to do someday?
I also want to become a forensic scientist, but I want to become a musician too, so I'm debating between the two.
I think all of you have enough talent to do whatever you want, and it's good to have you back here. Oxon Hill, nice to have you guys here. And it is rare to see Oxon Hill at this level in our competition, so you guys, you got here because another team dropped out, and you have made the most of that opportunity. We are so happy to have you here. We're proud of you. Thomas, tell us about Oxon Hill. Mr. Coleman, I know, is your principal down there, and he has his brother is a principal at Henry Wise High School, so it's in the family there. Who's the sponsor of your team?
Mr. Muniz.
Wonderful. Out there, we'll be coming out in just a few moments. And Thomas, do you have some alternates?
Carmela.
Carmela, she'll be out to join you as well. She's an important part of this team. Tell me about what it is at Oxon Hill that you like to brag about.
I like to brag about the fact that we have so many opportunities with the STEM program, and everybody is gets equal opportunity. Everybody has a chance to excel.
Wow, that's the perfect advertisement for the school, because you know that's what you want. You want opportunity, and you want teachers that are looking out for you and they're on your side. What do you hope to do someday? What do you want?
I want to be a lawyer.
I can see you doing that. Yeah. Do you win your arguments?
Most of the time.
You're headed in the right direction. Nice to have you back. Matthew, tell us about yourself. What do you do in your spare time?
In my spare time, I like to do cartooning. I also like researching more things about my field that I want to do in the future, like forensic science, detective work. And also in my spare time, I play with my little brother.
Yeah. How old is he?
He's like 6 years old.
Yeah, I bet he looks up to you too, and hopefully he sees you on TV. So you, like Laura, too, want to do something like CSI, huh? That's great. And Antonio, tell us your story. You want to be an engineer, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, how'd you get interested in engineering?
I want to be an aerospace engineer. I've been interested since I was smaller.
Yeah.
I used to ask myself the question, like, how do airplanes fly since they're so huge? And I guess I did a little bit of research on it. I became fascinated with it.
And it is. I think since we arrived on this planet, we've probably looked at birds and thought, how do they do that? You know, and it's the same with airplanes. And of course, now we've got planes that are going to be going off into space someday. You guys probably will be around to still fly those. All right, let's get back to our game. 130 to 130, tie score. Hyattsville, Oxon Hill. All the big valued questions are left. Good luck. Red team, start us out.
Science potpourri for 10.
Potpourri for 10 points. Teams, the first protein ever completely sequenced, every single amino acid was identified, was this hormone produced by the pancreas. Oxon Hill. What you got, guys?
Testosterone?
Not testosterone, good try. This hormone produced by the pancreas was the first ever protein that was sequenced for all of its amino acids, Brianna.
Adrenaline?
Insulin. Insulin out of the pancreas, yeah, for diabetes. Try again, red, still tied.
No, Superade for 20.
Superade for 20 points. Teams, boy, turns out that rats have gotten a bad rap. They did not cause the bubonic plague, as everyone believed, that wiped out millions in Europe. It turned out to be one of these Oxon Hill.
Fleas.
Not a flea, no, it turned out to be one of these G-initialed rodents with a long tail that normally lives in the desert.
Gerbils?
Gerbils is exactly right. Yeah, it's one of those things, huh? Yeah, they traced it back, and it was fleas on the gerbils and not the rats. So you were on the right ballpark, Thomas. Go, Brianna.
Science potpourri for 20.
Potpourri for 20 points. Teams, scientists have long looked down their noses at anecdotal evidence. But now, as they're trying to discover things like, do animals really have feelings, they are treating anecdotal evidence as hard what? Oxon Hill. What you got?
Hard fact?
Hard facts or hard data? Absolutely right. Go green, please.
Let's get physical for 20.
Let's get physical for 20 points, teams. If you are in the kitchen and you're using baking soda, you could use baking powder, but you can't do the reverse because baking soda requires you to add something like lemon juice, which is a kind of what? Hyattsville?
Acid?
Yeah, you need an acid. See, baking powder has both base and acid, but baking soda is just a base. Red, go.
Dateline science for 20.
Dateline science for 20 points. Teams, it was back in 1925 that John Scopes went on trial in Tennessee because he had the audacity to teach this subject in his high school. Oxon Hill.
Evolution?
Evolution, absolutely. The famous monkey trial, the Scopes trial. Good answer. Go green.
Dateline science for 5.
Dateline for 5 points, teams, because so many of our foods today are made from genetically manipulated organisms. Some people are naming these foods after what famous monster written by Mary Oxon Hill?
Frankenstein?
Frankenstein, yes. Mary Shelley's famous monster. Good. Thank you, Matthew, for your assist. Go, Thomas.
Science potpourri.
Science potpourri for?
5.
5 points. It was in 1966 that astronaut Buzz Aldrin, was in outer space on a spacewalk, and he held a camera in front of himself and took the first ever, Thomas? Selfie in outer space. That's right. Go green.
Let's get physical for 5.
Let's get physical for 5 points. Teams, on Saturn's moon Titan, astronomers have discovered lakes of ethane. Hyattsville. What you got?
Methane?
No. Oxon Hill. There are lakes of ethane and methane on Saturn's moon Titan, which is kind of surprising because here on Earth, ethane and methane are what?
Gases.
They're gases, yeah. Up there, they're liquids. Go green.
Body systems for 5.
Body systems for 5 points. Teams, A survey says that on average, one of these is worth about $4.36 when the fairy looks under your pillow. Oxon Hill.
Teeth.
Teeth, or a tooth, that's right. All right, it is 170 to 190, and you can see all the high-valued questions. Advantage, green.
Super 8 for 5.
Super 8 for 5 points. Teams, there is so little food in the country of Cambodia that whole families are going out and capturing these big, fuzzy arachnids. Oxon Hill.
Tarantulas?
Tarantulas, and they bring them back and they throw them on the Barbie. Go, green.
Green things for 5.
Green things for 5 points. Teams, sometimes green things are used in phrases like, don't let the grass grow under your feet. And if something is really simple, which Science Bowl is not, they might say that it's as easy as falling off one of these. Oxon Hill.
A tree?
More specifically.
A branch?
Nope. It's as easy as falling off one of these fallen trees, Brianna.
A fallen tree?
No, it's as easy as falling off a log. That's the phrase. No points. Go green.
Green things for 20.
Green things for 20 points. Teams, a multiple choice question. Teams, these C initialed seed leaves that store food and normally fall off the little plant on a pumpkin continue to photosynthesize. Are they? Was it multiple choice? What do you want to give me?
Couplings?
Not couplings. Are these seed leaves, Hyattsville, known as cotyledons, chloroplasts, or corollas?
First one. Okay.
What you got?
Second. Scrolla.
Not the second one, not the chloroplasts. It's the cotyledons. Dicots and monocots is what they're known as. Go green.
Let's get physical for 25.
Let's get physical for 25. Big one in that category is a visual question. Look at the monitor, please. If you read Dr. Seuss, you'll recognize oobleck. Okay, I think you jumped in too soon, but what do you want to tell me, Brianna?
Polymer?
Not a polymer, good try. Oobleck is made by adding water to cornstarch. And based on pressure, it can act as a liquid or a solid. And the rate at which it flows is defined as what? The initial term. No, viscosity. Viscosity. Good try. Go green again.
Dateline science for 25.
Dateline science for 25 points. Get this one, Hyattsville, and we tie the game. Teams, what former vice president made a movie called Inconvenient Oxon Hill.
Al Gore.
Al Gore, Inconvenient Truth, all about the dangers of global warming. Yes, sir. Green.
Zoo Parade for 25.
Zoo Parade for 25 points. Another visual question. Look at the monitor, please. And this is the skeleton of an armadillo. Now, at one time, listen to the whole thing. They used to be called edentates because they thought they didn't have any teeth. They do have teeth. They now belong to a group called xenarthras because if you look at their backbone, these that join the vertebrae are unusual. What are they that I'm referring to that gives them the name xenarthras?
Joints?
Yeah, that's what I want to hear. Good parsing the question. Nice going. Green, red.
Body systems.
What have we got?
Body systems for 25.
Body systems for 25 points. Teams, recently, the students at Henry Wise High School, right down the road, got a prize in a biomedical competition for their understanding of meningitis. Thomas at Oxon Hill.
Gum disease?
Not gum disease, no. Meningitis is an inflammation of the meninges, which are the tiny membranes that cover what two parts of your body? The meninges cover what two body parts? What do you think?
The throat and the tonsils? No.
Your brain and your spinal cord. Spinal meningitis. Try again, please. Red. 2 questions left. Still anybody's game.
Science potpourri for 25.
Potpourri for 25 points. Teams, your question is as follows. Listen very carefully to these words. The largest airport apiary in the world is at Chicago's O'Hare Field, which means you can go there, and in areas that are away from the flight lanes, you can find these. Oxon Hill.
Gliders?
Not gliders. The world's largest airport apiary is at Chicago's O'Hare Field. Meaning you can go there and out away from the flight path, you can find what?
Birds?
Bees. Bees. Apiary. Beehives. Last question of the game. Green things for 25 points. Let's see what we've got. We could have a tie score. All right, this is green things for 25. Listen carefully. Teams, agriculture is the study of raising crops for human consumption. What similar sounding H initial term? Hyattsville.
We'll pass it to Vincent.
Horticulture?
It is horticulture, absolutely right. That is 25 points. That means we have a tie score. We will go to sudden death. We will be back in 1 moment.
Going to school pregnant, riding the bus, that was hard. You just have all the stares and you have all the questions, and even little kids make you nervous just staring at you. When you get pregnant, all the stuff just goes through your mind. Abortion, adoption, keeping him. You're his mom. You're supposed to be the one taking care of him and raising him. But when you're 15 and pregnant, you can't do it without support. I wanted to give him a better life. When I found out I was pregnant, I don't know, just a light hit me in my heart, just saying adoption is what you need to do. I really have a simple dream. I just want to get my nursing career, get married, and have a family. When I get pregnant again, give them a better life. I'm Miranda, and I chose adoption.
And welcome back. It doesn't happen often here on Science Bowl, but we have ended with a tie score. So we go to a sudden death round. First correct answer will win. These teams are so evenly matched. One of them is going to be moving on to the finals. It will be determined by just one question here. Teams, are you ready? Yes. Your question is as follows. This rapid rotation science machine that separates substances, Oxon Hill.
Centrifuge.
Correct answer is a centrifuge. Oxon Hill, you have done it. We will be back with a wrap up and bring out the sponsors and the alternates in just 1 moment.
Living near mountains, woodlands, and wild places is a dream come true for many, except during wildfire season. That's why people are working with their local planners to help ensure that wildfire protection is part of the planning process for communities near the beautiful and wild parts of our state. Learn more at planning.org. That's planning.org.
Our knees are still knocking in here and our hearts are beating. It doesn't get this tense all that often on Science Bowl. And boy, that's testimony to the great skill of these young people here. Not only are they great scholars, they're great sportsmen, and y'all have great personalities. I don't want to see anybody leave. Our final tally today is Hyattsville 220, Oxon Hill 245. You guys are going to the finals for the first time ever. Antonio and Thomas and Matthew. And back there, Carmela is smiling a mile wide over there. Victoria's Hall, their academic dean, and Mr. Munoz, thank you for all the work you've done. First-time sponsor, you really hit it out of the park this year. Hyattsville, what can I say? I love you guys. You've been great champs. Laura, too, and Brianna and Vincent. You work so well. Mr. Knights, you just do the best job ever. And I'd like to thank Ransom, too. And who else is standing back there? Emma, an important part of that team. Thanks for all of your work here, and hope to see you all again on the next edition of Science Bowl. It'll be the finale. It's Kenmore and Oxon Hill. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.